Welcome to Get Your Bell Rung Pro Wrestling Podcast. Take 2. Don't know what happened, guys. It just stopped airing for some reason, but we're back. We are here discussing AEW's pay-per-view last night, Fallout. With me, again, WCW former wrestler, author, Looking Up at the Lights, Robbie Idol, and as well as Bob Cook, the Cooker, former WWE, WWF/WWE, and Hall of Famer. Gentlemen, thank you for your patience. Welcome back.
Well, you know, at our age, we don't have much patience because we don't have much time. Quit screwing around.
Glad to be back. Glad to be back.
Now, as I was saying, I liked the show last night. The only problem I had with it is every match was pretty much the same stipulations, except for 2. We've seen, 3 or 4 different times wrestlers during different matches biting the forehead or the bloody part of their opponent just to get the fans chanting "you sick fuck." I just found that a little off, if for my taste. What do I know? Bob, you started with, and actually first, did you find this a little ridiculous, the fact that they booked these exact same matches for the pay-per-view?
To be completely honest with you, and I never do lie, Megan Bain is hot, but to be completely honest, I didn't really pay attention to the stipulations. I was just staring at the TV. But I did notice, like I said earlier, that the forearms back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I mean, it's the same spots over and over. I mean, come on.
Right. What about you, Robbie?
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it, especially with the blood stuff, well, I know we're going to get to them, but yeah, like licking the blood and stuff like that. I mean, it is nasty. I mean, when we'll go back to one of my matches, the bloodbath match. Rick, when I had climbed up on the top ropes and everything, and you can see it on a picture, like blood coming out of my head, and Rick was laying on the ground. He had his mouth open and then blood went in his mouth, and he said it was nasty. So, I'm going by what Rick said, but because I don't know why you would do that. I guess just to hear for the fans, but it's gotta be, you would think you'd worry about like catching something maybe.
Well, that's whenever I question if it was real blood or not. Now, it looked like it was real blood. It looked like they bladed themselves last night just because of the flow of it. Right. But, and look, if that's what they want to do, I don't care. To me, it's not a matter of, oh my God, this is gross. It's a matter of, okay, we've seen this already 3 fucking different times in the same pay-per-view. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I've been told by professional wrestlers that normally, the guys that are working the show will actually get together and talk to make sure they're not repeating each other's spots. Well, if that's the case, there's no communication last night because we've seen the same spot so many different times. And again, it's the exact same match. Am I asking too much to only want to have one hardcore match and the rest, your standard type matches? Or does it really not make a whole lot of difference? Bob, go to you.
Well, I don't think it makes much difference, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know what Full Gear stands for because I don't remember watching the other put over the years. Right. So I don't know if they have some type of a pattern that there's a lot of hardcore matches on there. But
right, I have watched Full Gear, and to my recollection, my memory serves me right. You do have your occasional hardcore match, but the whole show wasn't a hardcore show. Robbie, have you watched a whole lot of Full Gears, different Full Gears?
I've watched them, but same thing memory wise, after a while you start watching so much wrestling they all kind of blend together sometimes.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't mind all the the hardcore matches. I don't mind that stuff. But yeah, I mean, a little bit of it got repetitive.
Right. And I'm the same way. Look, I was an ECW fan. I like some hardcore matches, but again, not every single match. And not every single match do I want to see the same thing. Even if they had to have nothing but hardcore matches, you still could have had different spots instead of having the same spot over and over and over again. Let's get to the first. This really wasn't the first match because it started on their pre-show. It kind of blend into Full Gear, which was El Sky Team, Mystico, Mascara, Dorado, they were giving me these names, and Neon versus the Don Callis family, Okada, Takeshita, and Don Callis. We seen that it was Okada who didn't arrive on time for the match, which they kind of made that a really big deal. He didn't show up until the middle of the match, kind of towards the end, I guess. And that led to what I really think they were trying to get to, which was this big argument between Takeshita and Okada, which then led into the tournament that they're going to be having. Takeshita said that he's getting into it, and we'll talk about that later. What did you guys think about this match that kind of led into the Full Gear Hour? I thought it was a good match. Start with you, Robbie.
I liked it. I thought it was a good match. What I wish they would do, I mean, the way they kind of set it up yesterday, yesterday, have Okada and Takeshita just brawl right now.
Right.
If I'm teaming with Bob and Bob hits me with that clothesline, I guarantee you when I get back up, me and Bob are going at it. So, I mean, go ahead and set you're teasing them, and I guess that's what they're doing is teasing them. Just he's leaving. Now you already know that
Right.
It's coming to that point. So just split them up now. That would have probably been at least it would have been an added to the show.
Yeah, I think that maybe creative with AEW, they're trying to really start getting into these long storylines, a lot like what WWE does. I honestly think that's what they're trying to get to, but sometimes it seems like it's just too long. But I mean, I have the same complaint with WWE at times as well, right? I mean, at least we're getting storylines. Bob, what did you think about this match? And what did you think about what Robbie just said? Should they make this a shorter storyline where Takeshita and Okada are fighting already? They're just basically having a brawl, or should this lead a little bit longer?
I don't have the answers. I mean, it was an okay match, but it's not one person in it that I would tune in to watch. It's not. It's like, oh, I got to watch this guy on Wednesday. I got to watch this guy on the pay-per-view. They're just there. In my world, they're just
Right.
there, and there's something to stare at till the next match comes on. Sure, they can do good, but at the end of the day, I don't care.
Yeah, I think
they're not star level where you're like, I got to see these guys work.
Right. Well, I think they're just trying to highlight their CMLL guys. This was for the World Trios Championship, which El Sky team did retain. Then we go to our true first match of Full Gear, which was Pac against Darby Allin. Again, this is a hard-hitting, entertaining match. Pac defeated Darby Allin, which I was really surprised that happened. Cook, what'd you think about this match, man? Was this entertaining for you or this a snoozer?
I mean, it was okay, but just so much stupid stuff that Darby Allin does that just boggles the mind. Doesn't do anything except what few people chat, oh my God, or this is awesome, or whatever. Is it really worth the pain that guy's got to be riddled with? Obviously it is, because he keeps doing it. But
yeah, that bump that he took when Pac basically lifted him up over his head when he was on the edge of the ring and threw him onto the floor. And yeah, I know there's mats, but the mats are only this, the mats are not very thick at all. That's be a terrible bump.
Cactus Jack was doing that stuff without the padding, so let's not get too crazy.
And we see how Cactus Jack walks now too.
Well, there's the point.
I think Darby Allin's body is going to be much worse than what Cactus Jack's body is. I think that Darby Allin's going to end up in a wheelchair. Unfortunately, I hope it doesn't happen, but the crazy shit that he does, I think he goes way and far beyond what even Mick Foley did. Robbie, your thoughts on this match and these unnecessary nasty bumps?
I like the match. I guess you knew they weren't going to stick to it. But when they started wrestling in the beginning, I mean, Darby shows he can wrestle.
Yep.
I mean, he actually looked really good. And you kind of went, at least from my standpoint, I was like, okay, I know where they're going to go with this, but let's hope he keeps, let's actually see a true wrestling match, because he is showcasing that he can wrestle. And, of course, they got away from it. But, yeah, that bump was, I mean, when they did it, and you could hear dumbass Tony Schiavone, the match, yeah, let somebody slam your fat ass off of there on the thing, and let's see if you say the mats, Tony, even though those mats are out there. I mean, especially from that, like coming off the top, from the ring and everything. I mean, we've talked about it before with Darby. I just think he's doing that stuff to hear the crowd, and does like at least a couple stupid ones. And he did, the other stupid one was when he threw him and he went through the ropes and out on the floor. That was another one that you just kind of cringed, because,
right.
We've all been, being thrown out and on the floor and everything like that. It's not a good feeling. And as much as he's taken it, I mean, if this kid lasts another 5 years, I'd be surprised.
Where I really was like, so during the match, we seen the bandages. We heard Tony Schiavone said repeatedly that Darby had second-degree burns from blood and guts. Now, I know he got thrown through a table that was on fire. Did he really have second-degree burns? I'm like, okay, is this a work? But then Pac took off those bandages, and you seen the kid, this young man, clearly had at some point blisters from being byslammed on this table. And when he took his hands and just his fingers and scraped it, I'm like, why? And he drew blood from where these blisters were at. They showed it to me, again, just unnecessary. That was the point that I didn't want to give away spoilers, but I think I said, Bob, I'm like, why? Why are they doing this? It's pointless to me. Again, Pac did defeat Darby Allin. The end of the match was Pac using Sting's baseball bat that he gave Darby Allin, hit him in the head, knocked him out, and got the 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, this is still, though, not the end of this feud. This is a feud that I'm ready to them to be done with. Robbie, is this a feud that you're like, yes, give me more?
No, because it's going to be the same ending. I mean,
right,
where you should have left, instead of bringing Yuta out there and interference and stuff, should have just put one of them over clean.
Right.
Just put one over clean and end it. I mean, hopefully they don't drag this out, but they're going to drag it out.
Yeah. Bob, are you really invested in this whole storyline that they're doing with Darby Allin and the Death Riders?
Not at all. But, that's just me. I'm not a big Darby Allin fan. He should go back and climb Mount Everest again because he was gone for a while. And, I mean, by the way, people have done that before, so it don't need to be done.
Right.
You're not impressing anybody because it's already been done.
But these people did not plant an AEW flag on the mountain.
Is that what he did?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I mean, I wasn't a big Darby Allin fan, and I should probably say I'm not, but because of stupid ass bumps the kid takes and stuff. But I have a lot more respect for him watching that he can actually work.
Right. Well, they've said numerous of times, when I say they, I'm talking about Tony Schiavone and the rest of the commentary, that Darby Allin actually has a background in amateur wrestling.
Yeah, see, I never heard that before, but I mean, he showed it, and he showed he could work, which if I was him, I would try to change to that style and not worry about the crowd, worrying about taking some stupid ass bumps and stuff. At least like I said, if this kid makes it another 5 years, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, I agree. Next, we have Timeless Love Bombs in a 4-way tag team match. Did I not write down who they in the match with against? Sisters of Sisters of Skin. Sisters of Skin. We also we also had Megan. Help me out, Cooker.
Yep.
Bane.
Megan Bane
Shameful.
and her partner Maria Shafir. Oh, also we had the what do they call themselves with what's the other team?
What is it? Babes of what?
Yeah, Babes
of Wrath?
Of Wrath, something like that, which makes up, and I can never remember either of their names. Is it Haley?
Harley Cameron.
And
Willow.
And Willow, who is my least favorite female performer on there. She reminds me too much of what Bailey used to be with the whole smiley huggy bullshit.
Okay, but you got to give her credit for her size. She can work.
She can. Now that's what I was gonna say. I just don't like her character.
Right. Okay.
She's good in the ring. This was a good match. I was hoping that Bane and Shafir would win. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. We had Toni Storm and her partner, who I can not remember her name either. I'm not invested in any of these women, with the exception of Megan Bane, to be honest with you. But again, the Love Bombs won that match, which only means that they get to pick the stipulation as they continue for the women's tag team titles. Bob Cook, I think during this match, I told you to slow your breathing because I knew Megan Bane, amongst other women, were in there. What do you think about this match?
You failed to mention that Penelope Ford's ass looked really good last night, too.
I'll say that she was there.
Arm in a sling, ass looked good. No, I didn't mind the match at all for obvious reasons, but I didn't really care who wins or loses because they're supposed to have like a rematch right now, Megan Bane and Maria against Toni Storm and whoever, for whatever that even represents. I don't even know.
Right. The highlight, my favorite part of the match, even though it was a whole bunch of nothing, but I love when Julia Hart walked to Maria Shafir and just slapped the taste out of her mouth. Thought that was awesome. If we didn't have Megan Bane and Maria win, I was hoping it would at least be the Sisters of Sin, Julia Hart, and Sky Blue. It wasn't even them again. It was Timeless Love, and I'm just over Toni Storm at this point. Robbie, talk to me about this match, man.
Good match. Wasn't bad. I mean, I'm a Toni Storm fan. I don't know that I'm fan like the way that with the hooking her up with this chick that none of us can really pronounce her name or whatever. I just not invested in that girl's character.
Right.
I don't like the dancing crap, and and you kind of noticed stuff like in all the matches, like when they do something good, she's either dancing or she's, they're that part and they're playing to the crowd. And it's like, you just, it doesn't look good, or at least in my point of view.
Right.
So, but the match wasn't bad. I figured, like you said, Maria Sharif and Megan Bane, those were the favorites odd end.
Right.
Or you would have thought the Sisters of Sin would have been, the second choice. But it was a good match,
Right. Yep.
So, now we're going to see if, like, dumbass Tony Schiavone gets his wish in a chicken coop match.
Right. Byron Jude A-Bear says, what's up, guys? Thank you for joining in, Byron. Please subscribe if you haven't. Michael McCurry, our co-host, wants to know, have we talked about Briscoe and Fletcher yet? And look, Michael was sitting at the edge of his seat waiting for us to get there just so he could say, you see, I told you I was right that, Fletcher was going to drop the title. You know what? You called it. I'll give you that much. You called it.
Can I give one shout out to somebody else that called that too?
Yep.
My last tag team partner, Justice, he called it.
Right.
He sent me his because he's watching the podcast, and he sent me his list, and he called that one.
Right. And we'll wait till we get to that match. Actually, Byron says that he loves Sky Blue, but not with that faction. I think Sky Blue, she's not really in a fact. Well, I guess she is. I like her where she's at because I think that if she was by herself, she would go back to just jobbing out or, getting other people over. At least now she's getting some W's. Next, we go to the FTR, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler against Brodido, Brody King, and Bandito. I like this match, but I had a feeling that FTR would walk away as the new third-time tag team champions. This was a good match. The only thing that really started to aggravate me about this match, they went way the fuck overboard on the false finishers. I mean, some of the things that they did to have Bandito kick out of, I'm like, come on. It just got a little ridiculous. Robbie, your thoughts on this match, and did the amount of false finishes?
Well, I'm not going to be a lot of help on this one because this one I pulled a Bob Cook. I was on my phone. I was on my phone. I'm not a big fan of any of the four.
Really?
Yeah, I've never been a fan of FTR, even when they were WWE, whatever. I mean, I know they're old school and everything. Right. And they're very talented and stuff. Just for some odd reason, just not invested in them. So yeah. I really, but I agree with you on the false finishes because you saw that. That's another. If you want to have a gripe, think about through the whole show how many people kicked out of a lot of finishes that should have finished them.
Right.
I mean, we'll probably talk about them as we get to those matches. But I mean, that whole show, there were everybody's finisher and people are kicking out.
Yeah, look, I'll admit, false finishers, they're exciting. One, maybe two, right? But when you get to the point where they got to with this match, you're basically saying, I need to basically kill this guy for him not to kick out. It's called a finisher for a reason. Bob, what do you think about this match? And did they go overboard with false finishers, or do you think those false finishers makes the match more exciting?
Personally, yes, I do. I love lots of false finishes because you get that. It's over. No, it's not. Oh, I love that stuff. Remember Shawn Michaels against The Undertaker in that match before the year he retired? That amazing match. Holy mackerel. It was amazing.
But they didn't get ridiculous in that match, though. This match had so many false finishers that I don't know. I just think that they got a little crazy with that. Nonetheless, it was a good match. So, I was a big FTR fan in WWE. I became FTR fans in AEW. I think that they were used better. I really love them with Tully Blanchard. I wasn't crazy about FTR having Dax Harwood as their manager at first, but it works in my opinion. I think they look good together. I think they complement one another. Next, we go to the AEW National Championship Casino Gauntlet match. We started first with the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. I did not get at all what I wanted to see with those guys, which was them at least compete. They were basically playing tickle ass until Ricochet came out, and then we started seeing all the different people come out. Ricochet won. He is now the new AEW National Champion. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm just not I'm torn about Ricochet. Some weeks I think he's okay. Other weeks he just aggravates the piss out of me. Bob, How do you feel, if any way at all, about Ricochet being the new AEW national champion? Did they pick the right guy, in your opinion?
He's a great wrestler. The belt looks really cool. I'll say that.
Yeah, yep.
Brian Idol probably doesn't agree, but I think it looked pretty cool.
Hey, watch how you talk about my cousin.
What does he care? He's got a good-looking woman. Who cares what a championship belt on a show that has nothing to do with you looks like?
Well, you know, what I got out of the interview that I did with Brian Idol was, I guess, Billy Corgan, the owner of the NWA, and Tony Khan had to sit down. They came to an agreement. I noticed that they are now only calling it the National Championship instead of the National Wrestling Championship, which was what NWA called their belt. So I think they kind of scaled back on copying what NWA is doing. I mean, that belt is still active. So if that is the case, good for them. I don't care if they have, I don't care what the belt's called, as long as they don't try to link it with the history of a belt that is in current, that's currently being held by somebody. But yeah, I thought it was a decent match. Robbie, did you like this match at all?
Yeah, it was. I mean, if I had if you were gonna bet on it, I wouldn't have bet on Ricochet.
No.
You know, he would have. You know, he wouldn't have been one of my choices. You know, and I got to give one more shout out to him, and I'll stop. But to Keith again, Keith called that one too, and I was like, okay, I didn't think Ricochet. I mean, I wasn't sure who was going to get it, but you know, I wouldn't have picked Ricochet. Same, a good wrestler. I don't like some of his gimmick. I think a little bit of his,
right.
You know, some of it's, you know, like a couple things he does. There's like really. But as far as a worker and wrestler, the guy is, you know, talented.
Right.
And so, you know, hopefully see what he's got, you know,
yeah.
let him go. I mean, well, you look how many guys are out again. You know, we talked about that, you know, so you got to give, at least they're giving chances to guys, you know, let's see what they got.
I tell you, both Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey looked really good in the match last night. But you know what? It makes sense that Ricochet won this title, and I don't know why I didn't realize it or call it then. But if you think about who's in the match, everybody in the match were guys who were in tag teams. Ricochet's the only one that's a singles competitor in that match. So we should have seen that it was going to be Ricochet to win this match because of that. You know, you have the Hurt Syndicate that was in there. You have Kevin Knight and Speedball Mike Bailey, which calls himself Speed Jet or Jet Speed, whatever they call themselves. These are all tag team guys that are in there. So, yeah, I get it. It makes sense why Ricochet is actually the one who won it. Michael McCurdy says, I am a Ricochet fan. Just don't like how he's presented in AEW. Do you like how he was presented in WWE? I think he's presented much better in AEW than WWE. Ricochet couldn't cut a promo in WWE to save his life for some reason. I think maybe he's allowed to be more of himself with AEW because he has improved greatly on the mic since he's been with AEW. Next, we go to Kyle O'Reilly against Jon Moxley in a no-hold bars match. This was a pretty brutal match. We pretty much seen color right away. Kyle O'Reilly defeated Jon Moxley. Jon Moxley tapped out once again. You know, I'm starting to think that they're planting the seeds for the Death Riders to turn on Moxley. As much as every match he's been in, he has now tapped out since he's lost his belt. I'm starting to think that what they're going to do is the Death Riders will say, you're not a leader. You're getting your ass kicked. You're constantly tapping out. You're a quitter. And they're going to turn on him. Start with you, Bob. What do you think about this match? And do you think that they're possibly planting those seeds to actually turn Jon Moxley back into a babyface?
Oh boy, that'd be a hard one. I don't know. You know, the match is okay, but I can't get into those characters. I just can't. I can't stand the way Jon Moxley acts. I don't know. I'm flustered. I'm filibustered.
Yeah. Well, Mike McCordy, our great co-host, says he has to go back to work, and he was right. Yeah. Robbie, what did you think about this match? And do you think possibly we're going to see Death Riders turn on Jon Moxley, and this is why they're getting him to tap out of everything?
It's possible. I like the match. I mean, when you watch Moxley, which I was surprised O'Reilly was bleeding before Moxley, because usually, Moxley's bleeding like within the first 2 minutes. So you always know, okay, when's he going to bleed,
Right.
But it was a good match. I mean, typical Moxley match, but it wasn't bad and stuff. And it's possible maybe they're going to turn on him. I don't know, hard to say. I mean, I wouldn't have thought of that till you brought it up, but
Well, I mean, they have to be going somewhere for them to be, for creative to have him in these matches where he's just tapping out. I don't know. I think the last time he had a shoulders pin was during that match when he had the champ before he lost the championship, right? After that, it's been tap out after tap out after tap out. I assume they're going somewhere else with it.
You hope they're going somewhere with it.
Right. Next was Bob Cook's favorite match, Mark Briscoe against Kyle Fletcher in a no disqualification match for the AEW TNT Championship. If Mark Briscoe lost, he had to join the Don Callis family, and I swear to you, I was sure that's where they were going with this. I could not imagine they would take the belt off of Kyle Fletcher, who was on the way. If he'd have won last night, that means he would have held a record for the most wins for that belt, defending that belt. I think this has been his 8th time he defended the belt. To my shock, he actually dropped the belt to Mark Briscoe. And I didn't hate that, because that means I was wrong, and that means I was surprised. And I love being surprised in a match like that. Bob, I know you're not a big Mark Briscoe fan. Did you think that this match was entertaining at all?
Yeah, it was much better than I thought it would be, just because of that fact. I'm not necessarily a Mark Briscoe fan, but I did pay attention. There was a bunch of sick spots, like always, lots of blood, but it wasn't bad.
Yep. Well, this is one of the matches that, Kyle Fletcher was shown biting Mark Briscoe and then showing the, Mark Briscoe's blood in Kyle's mouth. And that happened with the Jon Moxley match as well. So I was talking about. What do you guys think about Briscoe carrying this championship?
I don't have a problem with it.
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, he's, it's an ROH, and that's kind of where he got his start. So
no, it's an AEW champion. It's the AEW TNT belt. It's not an ROH belt.
No.
Nope.
Close enough.
All right. So okay. So I didn't pay attention to what belt it was. But no, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, good match. Here was my complaint in it. You have Don Callis running in there and interfering. And you see Don Callis interfering in a lot of matches. We've talked about this again. And at some point, he's got to get his ass whipped.
Right.
He's backstage telling creative, oh, no, I can interfere, but they can't touch me, which is bullshit, because, okay, we're going to go back to our day when Bob Cook and I worked. When managers interfered, at one point, they took a punishment for it. At some point. So at some point, he should, he's just always running in and interfering, and nothing happens to the guy, which is bullshit in my eyes. But, unless he's in bed with that poodle-headed guy that's running the show there, Tony Khan.
Right.
Who, but it just, that's my biggest issue. and keep his ass off the mic because he's just as bad as Shivani. After a while, he gets annoying too. So now I got two people that are annoying the shit out of me while I'm trying to watch the match.
Yeah. Bob, do you think you're not a big Mark Briscoe fan. Do you think he will add anything? Do you think he's going to elevate this belt at all whatsoever?
No, not at all. Wasn't it like before his brother was killed in that horrible accident? They wouldn't even book the Briscoes on the show. Now what happened in between that? Was it a sympathy thing or what?
No,
or was it because Tony bought Ring of Honor and they went, well, the Briscoes got a name there. Let's involve them.
So I watched the AEW media scrum after the pay-per-view last night. And they brought this up. And apparently the reason why the Briscoe brothers weren't allowed on there was because there was an executive who didn't want that much violence on TBS.
I think I remember hearing that.
Yep. And this guy is no longer with Warner Brothers.
Clearly.
Yep. And it just so happened that the guy left Warner Brothers at the time that Briscoe's brother died, and they were able to bring Briscoe in. It was a little sickening watching the media scrum last night. Tony Khan is such a fucking mark.
What's all this stuff?
Christ.
Why has he always got two cups in a water?
Right.
Or whatever he's drinking. Gotta be booze. He's got two cups. Why is he always got to have two cups? And why is he constantly? Oh my God.
And it's like Mark Briscoe could speak for himself last night. Tony Khan was interrupting and answering the questions and talking about how much he loves Briscoe and was hugging on him. And as Briscoe was leaving, he jumped up and gave Briscoe this big embrace and literally rested his head on Briscoe's shoulder, like your wife would rest her head on your shoulders, girlfriend, if you're hugging her. It was very uncomfortable watching this. Tony Khan needs to stick with just being in the office and writing the paychecks. That's it. He should not be on TV whatsoever because he's just an awkward little man. He really is.
Well, at least Briscoe's blood was real.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But I remember what you said about that with them saying the violence and stuff. And if you go back and watch a lot of their stuff, I think Jay was better on the mic as far as promos go and stuff and the way he cut them. And he was probably a little bit more violent than what Mark was. Right.
Yeah. Yep. I agree. Next we go to the Young Bucks and Josh Alexander in a trios match against Jurassic Express and Kenny Omega. You know what? Bob, I'll start with you.
It was a heartwarming ending.
Yeah, it was something.
Brought tears to my eyes that I actually watched it. But it was... I'm not a fan of any of those guys, but I didn't think it was a horrible match. I don't know.
It wasn't horrible, but the match we seen last night was kind of the match we've been seeing on Dynamite as far as the Young Bucks tagging with Josh Alexander. It was basically, the only thing different was their opponents. But I don't know. This match just didn't do anything for me. And the ending of the match was so terrible as far as I'm concerned. So you have the Young Bucks who was walking to the dressing room with Don Callis. They're counting their money, right? Now, they won $1 million. So each bag, I'm assuming, had $500,000 in it between the Young Bucks, their team, or between the two guys. Well, they are walking back, then they see Kenny Omega getting his ass handed to him by the Don Callis family. So then they play like they're torn. What do we do? They kept on looking back and, what do we do? And then they finally decided to do the quote unquote right thing, to run inside, to run to the ring and to help Kenny Omega. But this is the fucking problem for me. In what world would you drop a bag of $500,000 near a guy like Don Callis to go help your buddy? That it was just dumb. Now the big storyline is going to be, I assure you, because they showed it, Don Callis has the money now. The Young Bucks trying to get the money back from Don Callis. I just thought that was just terrible. It was predictable. I've been saying it. Robbie's been saying it as well, that they're going to turn the Young Bucks back to faces. They're not going to join the Don Callis family, and they're going to end up helping Kenny Omega. Robbie, what is your thoughts on everything?
Typical Young Bucks match. I mean, and then you throw Josh Allen and Luchasaurus. And what's funny now is Jungle Boy is kind of like a sidekick of the Young Bucks with all this. You thought maybe we're watching their cousin, because now he's either been hanging out with them or whatever, because he did a lot of their moves. I mean, it's super kick, flip, whatever. I mean, I have to agree with Bob on one thing here. And I'm surprised I'm even saying this and going this avenue. But, while Jungle Boy was out for as long as he was out, what did he do?
Right.
Like, did he, obviously you're getting paid. So why wouldn't you have at that time, knowing you're coming back to TV, go to the gym and work out and try to, granted, I know you're not going to be some big stud or whatever, but
right.
At least try to get in shape and, get ripped or whatever. I mean, he just looks real skinny out there, and I mean, that's odd for it because the cameras will give you 10 pounds.
Right.
I mean, I know you're Luke Perry's kid, but, you would have thought you'd have went to the gym and, busted your ass there while you had time off.
I mean, come on, guys. We're being a little bit too harsh. He let me tell you what he did when he was off this whole time. He shaved off his beard. And when I say beard, I'm talking about the 3 or 4 hairs he was able to grow in his face. That's what he did. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we said the same thing about Eddie Kingston. It's, and we're going to get to a return that happened last night and talk about the difference between him and people like Eddie Kingston and Jack Perry. Next, we go to Chris Statlander versus Mercedes Moné. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to be honest with you. As much as I am not a Mercedes Moné fan, I want her to win last night just because I dislike Chris Statlander that much more. Nonetheless, I thought it was a good match. I was a little surprised that they didn't have Mercedes Moné drop or win the belt. It seems to me what they're doing, where they're going with Mercedes Moné, is she is good enough to win every single belt. But when it comes to the big belt, the one that matters, the Women's World Championship belt, she shits on the pot and she cannot do it. 2 times she's lost in AEW since she started with them. Both times she's lost, it's been when she was trying to win that World Championship belt. Again, Statlander retained the belt. I thought it was a fun match. Robbie, I know you don't like Mercedes Moné, but can you at least give her flowers and admit that this was a decent match? This was definitely better than the match previous. And maybe that's why I thought this was a good match, because of the shit match we seen with the Bucks in it.
Well, the Bucks match wasn't a shit match. It was just a typical Bucks match. So
what makes it a shit match?
Okay. So I tried to watch and not be like, okay, I can't stand you, Mercedes, and try to watch from a different eye. And I got about a quarter in and Mercedes started, her typical self. So it was kind of hard to, and I'm a Statlander fan. I like her. I've liked her when I've seen her. So I like her. I like Statlander, but it was a good match. Wish the outcome was a little different. I'm just tired of seeing, Mercedes always being put over.
But she wasn't put over. Statlander won.
No, Mercedes won.
No,
she did.
Statlander won.
No,
Statlander kept her belt. She kept her belt.
Well, yeah, but I think that Mercedes won though. Go back and watch. No, yes, she won because she didn't take the belt. I don't remember. There might have been a stipulation.
She didn't win. She lost. She got pinned.
Hello.
What did I watch them?
So you can't see me? You can't see her get pinned?
Did I watch the wrong match?
Hey, what's this guy saying on here? Is he saying something bad?
Yep.
Oh.
Nope. He said, haha, yeah, I agree. We were talking about the Young Bucks.
Oh, he's drunk.
But yeah, Mercedes Moné lost that match. That's what I'm saying. This is her second loss in the company. Both times she's lost has been while she was trying to win
what
the
match
match.
did I watch it then?
Did you hit the wrong feed? Some old match?
I must have on that. Because because I saw her rolling on the ground holding her belt and stuff. So
you were probably thinking about the unified ROH title championship belt from Saturday night, or from Wednesday night. She won that match against Red Velvet. But Statlander kept her belt. She won this belt.
Okay, then. Because I went because when I watched it, I went okay. Then I obviously I must have been like in another zone at the ending there. So
I just say share whatever you are on with me next time I see you.
We do partake.
I guess this lack of sleep thing is starting to catch up with me here.
Bob, what's your thoughts on this match?
Well, it started out slower. I was like, yeah, these guys, what are they going to do? But it turned into a really good match. But let me just tell you this, the wrestlers today are so much tougher than the old time wrestlers because, in 1973, Harley Race beat Dory Funk Jr. for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship with a kick to the gut, elbow to the head, and a suplex. And didn't even hook the leg when he pinned Dory. But a Mercedes did 14 suplexes in a row. I wouldn't want to do. I don't care how soft the ring is, but that was a good match.
That was impressive because, look, you've got to be able to be in some type of a shape on both Chris Statlander and Mercedes Moné in order to take 14 suplexes and then to give 14 suplexes. That was probably my favorite spot of that match. Again, I agree with you because you and I were talking, and initially I was like, but it picked up, and I found myself getting into this match. I thought it was a really good match. Again, Chris Statlander retains her title. Next, the main event.
Did you hear that, Robbie? She retained it.
The main event, Samoa Joe against Hangman Adam Page. And this was the shock of the night for myself. Samoa Joe defeated Hangman Adam Page. Before we get to what happened after the match, a couple of big things besides Joe winning the match. The reason he was able to win that match because Hook, another young man who has returned to AEW in every single match, he was tapping out.
Nepotism.
Yep. They wound it up. He came in. We thought he was coming in they wanted people to think that he was coming in to help Hangman Adam Page. That's not what happened. He actually took the belt, hit Hangman Adam Page, took off his jacket. He had the op shirt on. He betrayed everybody. He is with Samoa Joe and the ops. He is now a heel. Samoa Joe is able to get the 1, 2, 3, becoming the new AEW World Championship. Robbie, did you watch this match? Was the right one?
Yes, okay. Obviously I was in the right one. Yes, okay. We agree on the same ending.
Yep. What do you think about this match? Do you think Hook turning heel is going to elevate the ops at all whatsoever?
No,
I agree.
No. But I kind of went towards when Hook came in and picked up the belt. That's when it went in my head. I go, he's going to hit Page with it. He's turning. He's He's with Joe. So, I get it, just for whatever reasons, you kind of figured it out as soon as he picked the belt up.
Right.
The match was okay. I mean, I was expecting a little bit more, like more violence or whatever.
What?
Well, you think about Paige with all the other matches in the cage and stuff like that with Swerve and stuff like that.
Yeah, but
without the props. But I mean, you'd have thought they'd have threw each other into the cage a little bit more, or just expected a little more out of it.
I mean, Joe was freaking. The blood was pouring from the man's head.
Yeah, both of them. But
Adam Page took his freaking boot off and beat Joe like he was a freaking cockroach with that boot. Cooker.
Hang on a second.
Right.
Oh shit. Hello? Yeah, Samoa Joe. How you doing? What's up? Yeah, I know it was a hell of a match last night. What? Oh, you want me to tell Robbie Idol that you took a whole bunch of aspirin like an idiot? Oh, okay. All right. Don't do it again, okay, kid? All right. Better luck next time.
And for the viewers who may not get that reference or who didn't watch the interview I did with Robbie, or who haven't bought Robbie's book, which, by the way, go buy his book, because if you would have bought his book and read it, we were talking about back in Robbie Idol's heyday, when he knew he was going to have a bloody match, he would take up to 20 to 25 Tylenol for a month so that he could thin his blood, so blood would pour out of him like water. Go ahead, Bob.
Well, he an advice he got from Tommy Rich, so at least he's a legend in the business. It's ill-advised advice, but it's advice.
Right.
I actually thought it was a good match, and I'm not a fan of either one of them particularly. But cage matches are so hard to do, anyways.
Right.
Just because you're kind of limited, you got to do everything in the ring, and I like Robbie said, do more stuff in the cage. I'm glad no one went to the top of the cage, unless they did. Did they? Maybe I zoned out like Robbie on the Mercedes pin and the other girl, but. It I don't know. I thought it was a good match. It looked like a lot of stiff shots that didn't need to be stiff if you just learn how to work. And they also did that the forearm back and forth in the ring like every match. I don't understand why. I know they have agents. I don't know if AEW does, but WWE has the agents that sit down and they map the match out. So I don't know if they all get together or if they're just they don't watch what the other guy's doing or pay attention.
Well, they obviously don't, because to me, if they did have agents or if they did watch other guys going, you wouldn't have had 2 or 3 guys doing the same spot in different matches last night.
Or they don't care.
That too. Now, besides Samoa Joe winning, the other big thing that happened was Swerve made his comeback. And this is what I was talking about. You were talking about someone that made useful time of his time away from AEW. Swerve looks jacked. This guy looks much bigger than he was when he left a couple of months ago. He looks really good. I'm a Swerve guy. I'm a fan of his. I love that kick that he does, that sideways kick to the head. I think it just looks so good. I'm glad to see Swerve is back. Maybe we'll get some better storylines. Now, he came back. Samoa Joe was basically said, well, here you go. Here's Hangman Adam Page. Beat his ass, because these two have never really got along. That's where it got a little ridiculous. And that's where Samoa Joe's dojo looks really bad. As in, you don't want to go to Samoa Joe's school because if one man can beat the shit out of his entire dojo, you're not a great teacher then. But Samoa Joe, he cleared the ring, and AEW went off the air with a psychotic-looking Hangman Adam Page and a very angry-looking Swerve side by side. Let me ask these guys. Let me ask both of you this question. This is something that we were just talking about. With Hangman Adam Page, when he doesn't have that title, he has this very intense, psychotic look about him. He gets the title, and it's like he turns into this powder puff. The man lost the title, and within less than 5 minutes of him losing that title, he was back with that same psychotic expression on his face that he has when he doesn't have the title. I don't get his character. What did you guys think about Swerve's comeback?
I was waiting on Cookie. Go ahead.
No, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of his, but he could do it. I think he'd be better off without that guy in front of him acting like a goof. He's trying to come down being serious, and this guy's doing all this dancing, looking like, what? It's not a freaking dance contest. It's professional wrestling, for goddamn sake. You know, why do you always got to have some clowns? He's just a friend of his. You know, he's a friend. Oh, he's got to have a spot if I got a. Is that what it is?
Vince Donna used to be a professional wrestler.
Yeah, but okay. Maybe not act like an idiot then.
Well, you know what? Normally I would agree with you because I hate stupid shit in professional wrestling. Chris Donna makes me laugh. For some reason, he doesn't bother me. But I am a Swerve fan. What did you think about Swerve's return, Robbie? I'm
a Swerve fan. I like the guy, and that one I like. I like Prince Nana. Got to give him credit, you know. But usually Bob and I never agree on anything anyway. So, you know, we got to just run true to form here. So, but no, I'm a Swerve fan. I like him. I guess because I wasn't a fan of Hit Row in WWE, so really didn't know who he was. And then once I realized he came from there, I was like, and heard who he was with, but I wasn't a fan of, Hit Row back in the day.
Right.
So I really didn't see him that much in NXT because I didn't pay attention to that.
Right.
I would fast forward through the match. But then when I was like, wow, didn't realize he was part of that team. But, I liked him. I like him in AEW. I like the character. I like him.
Yeah. I agree. I was not a Swerve fan. I don't even know if I knew who he was.
Well, let's have a party for Swerve. Hey, Swerve. Hey, let's dance for Swerve and whoever that other guy was.
When Swerve was with NXT, I don't even know if I knew who he was. I didn't become a fan of Swerve until he actually turned on Keith Lee. They were tag team champs. I was kind of whatever about both of them. I'm not a big Keith Lee fan.
Right.
And then when he turned on him, it's like he found his true character. And I've been a fan of his ever since. Overall, didn't mind the pay-per-view. Was it worth $50 though? No, it wasn't. I'm glad I didn't pay $50 to watch it. But it was an entertaining show. Did this make me excited to watch Dynamite this coming Wednesday? Again, even with the return of Swerve, no, it did not excite me to watch Dynamite on Wednesday. It didn't do anything for me to honestly say, oh, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to Wednesday night. It just didn't. I don't know what was missing, but something is missing there as far as them getting me to that point of looking forward to watching that AEW Dynamite. Overall, I'd give it a B-. Robbie, what about you?
I thought it was a good show. Would I have paid $50? No. And if I'd have paid $50, I might have been upset about it. So I could have went and got a pizza for $50, and enjoyed it.
Where are you buying pizzas at for $50? I just went to Hungry Howie's and got two of them, $16. Two large pizzas, one topping, $16 total.
But overall, am I excited for Dynamite? No, maybe just for a couple bits and pieces, probably. So what they do. So, like, you want to see, like, bits and pieces, what they do on that. I'm
not lying.
Yeah, but Hungry Howie's isn't that good of a pizza.
Hey, so. It's very good tonight. I still got some leftovers, too.
If Hungry Howie's might be a good pizza if I haven't had pizza in about 3 months.
I even bought one for the demons.
I eat Domino's pizza for free because my youngest, he works at Domino's Pizza, and every night he comes home with pizza, so I snatch a couple from him. So
the pan pizza.
Hungry Howie's. That was Hungry Howie's.
Yeah, I've never even heard of the place.
Oh,
is that a local chain?
No.
It started in Michigan.
Oh,
it was in Michigan. It was from Michigan, Hungry Howie's.
Interesting.
Yeah, he had something to do, I think, with Detroit Red Wings or whatever.
Okay.
And then it came down to Florida.
I like the thin crust, light on the sauce, well done. Was a tasty treat.
Ask Bob about.
No,
his
I'd rather
fries
be at Epstein's Island, but that's a whole other story.
Ask him about his fries too, and every time he tells him he wants them extra crispy, do them twice.
Oh, yeah. I always tell them extra, Chris, and I even emphasize that's 5 extras, and they still don't work out.
But you know what? So, unfortunately, here in Minnesota, we don't have Waffle Houses.
Oh,
what?
Wow.
No. So, and I love Waffle House. So
we had the Waffle House bitch in Atlanta. Oh, that's a whole other story. That'll cause some divorces.
When we go back home to visit, we always get Waffle House once or twice. But the thing that I love about Waffle House is when I tell them with my hash browns that I want them crispy, they actually get them fucking crispy. Here in Minnesota, it doesn't matter what breakfast place I go to, Perkins, Baker Square, any of them. Give me crispy hash browns. The sons of bitches just they don't know what crispy means, and it blows my mind. How the fuck can you fuck up crispy hash browns?
I think when it comes to
same way they fuck up Bob's crispy.
Yeah, fries. I think when it comes to crispy fries, they just throw it in a pan with a bunch of fries and they give me my share.
Right.
They don't cook them special.
And my seafood, I'm like fried extra. I want it crispy. I like my shit crispy. I don't like it mushy.
Do you have Hooters where you live?
We have one.
Oh. Really?
The other one's shut down. We have one at Mall of America.
I went to Hooters last week. Pablo took me. You know Pablo, Robbie.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've heard Pablo.
Yeah. I actually like Wing House better than Hooters, though.
Not me.
Huh. Never heard of Wing House.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, they came after them.
Now, look, I'm going to be honest with you. When it comes to wings, just because I live about 45 minutes away from Bloomington, Minnesota, that's where they're at. That's where Mall of America's at.
Mm-hmm.
I have so many different places that have wings, Buffalo Wild Wings near me, that I would never drive 45 minutes just for Hooter Rings. But I would drive 45 minutes to get their shrimp that they have there. I love their shrimp, man. They usually toss it in buffalo sauce or whatnot. I get it naked, just with nothing on it.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking love it.
What connection does the Mall of America have to wrestling?
Well, that's easy. The very first freaking Monday Night Nitro was that.
Well, besides that, you got Hulk Hogan's Pastamania, baby. Brother.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, we was at Mall of America a couple of weeks ago. Try to avoid the place during Christmas time, though. It gets nuts. But your grade, Robbie?
My grade, I give it a B.
A B? Bob?
Because it was free, it gets a B. But if it was money, it would be a C.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Now,
wait a minute. Did I say it was free? I mean,
tomorrow night is the go-home show for Survivor Series, is Monday Night Raw. The previous Monday, it was a good Raw. We all agree that should have been the go-home show. I am concerned that this Monday they're going to shit in the pot. This is going to be a terrible go-home show for some reason.
I heard they already got SmackDown taped, and I haven't looked at the spoilers. So
someone made a comment that they were there for the taping of SmackDown, and I thought they were being facetious or lying because they said that the replacement for Sheamus was actually The Miz.
Yeah, Sheamus hurt his shoulder or something.
Right. But
man, what a Sheamus. I mean,
so what you're saying for the show tomorrow night for Raw? You're saying last Monday they shot their load, and we're going to be disappointed tomorrow night.
That's what Ginger Lynn says. Oh, wait a minute.
That's what I'm protecting. But guess what, fans? You will know this for sure by tuning in on Tuesday to get your bell rung up Pro Wrestling Podcast for the Go Home Raw episode. Did we like it? Did we hate it?
See, the problem is you're going into the show thinking that it's
Nope.
not going to be as good as next week or last
I'm
week. So
going
you're
over
already, you're all, well, but you're already a lot of people, they do that. They go, well, I think this, I think that, and they're not going to be satisfied because they didn't, it's like people that get all excited, like, well, I heard this guy's coming back. I heard that guy's coming back. Then when it don't happen, even though it was never said or even hinted at, but they just think, oh, I heard this guy's coming back. And then they don't, well, the show sucks.
Well, see,
even if it did.
This is what I'm trying to do, because I don't want Raw to suck. I want to be good. So normally, Murphy Law says if I make a prediction, the opposite is going to happen. That's why I was predicting that Raw was going to be the shits tomorrow, that the previous Raw should have been their go-home show, with the hopes that Murphy Law is going to kick in and it's actually going to be a really good Raw.
I predicted at some point I'll play on my phone, fall asleep, and fast forward.
Probably so. Probably so. But again, like I said, we'll see what we think about it on Tuesday night's recap of Monday Night Raw. Again, is their go-home show to Survivor Series. Are we looking forward to Survivor Series, gentlemen?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am too. I think it's going to be a good one. I still think that it's going to be the women's War Games match that's going to steal the show. I really do.
I totally agree with you. And also, I guess tell all the subscribers tune in on Tuesday to make sure Robbie doesn't zone out on one match at least, right? Make sure I watch the same SmackDown.
Yeah,
I noticed
the same Raw as you guys did.
No Stephen Hawking from Robbie tonight. I know.
What I was about to say, we have.
Don't jinx it, guys. Don't jinx it.
We have a new member to this podcast, which is Robbie's internet. That's actually working tonight. You know what? He made some improvements. I appreciate it. It was beautiful. It was wonderful.
Good.
That way, guys, you can watch us again, or tell your friends to catch us on ECUSA TV. It is on Roku, and you guys get to see Robbie perfectly nice and clear, and he doesn't sound like Hawkins. And yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Are those shows supposed to be on demand at some point?
They are. So I talked to him last night, actually, and they were updating video on demand to get all the shows on there. Chris is excited. He says he loves our podcast. He wants to have quite a bit of our podcast on there now. So yeah, it's going to be up there, but it should be video on demand here pretty soon. So I know that our Tuesday night podcast aired, I think it was on Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. So
yeah, see, it's part of their live feed.
Yeah. Yep. So there's a bunch of other podcasts on there as well, guys. And there's also some old school wrestling and a lot of today's wrestling, a lot of the indie shows. It's a pretty cool app. Check it out.
Old Fools Wrestling. Robbie and I aren't on there wrestling.
No, what's really cool? My favorite thing to watch on there, besides wrestling, they have a lot of the old game shows from way back in the day. I talk about black and white stuff. There's a channel on there that you can watch all these game shows. And yeah, it's cool. It's fun. I like watching that type of stuff. But that's just me. But there's
I want to watch an old game show that's entertaining. Watch the Groucho Marx ones. It was hilarious.
Yes.
Groucho Marx is one of the funniest, and like the sexual innuendos that he would throw out there back in the 50s or something. Hilarious.
Yep, absolutely. Robbie, do you have anything you need to plug?
Other than my book, I guess. Not really. Go buy my book. Get it.
Yeah, guys.
The easiest way to get it, go to Amazon Kindle. That's
Yep. Bob, don't you have a show coming up or something?
Well, January 17th at the Twisted Fork, not Twisted Fork, I got it wrong. Twisted Wrestle Alliance Studios in Inglewood, Florida, 3 p.m. bell time, $15 includes a meal. You're going to see Bob Cook, Pablo Marquez, and my son, Robbie Cook, for the first time teaming up against Robbie Idol, the Snake in the Grass, the Cuban Assassin, the Double Snake in the Grass, and Richie Paradise, the Triple Snake in the Grass. But they're all going to get their asses beat.
Yeah, Robbie.
The cooker and the Pablo.
Robbie, I got to be honest with you. I was disappointed when I heard that you're kind of a low-down son of a bitch.
I know, right?
TWA. Like, man, I like Robbie. Damn it.
That's all right. Hey,
what's a
Bob's
sheep
not gonna
and
like it because I'm going to throw the shitty forearms in there.
a wolf in sheep's clothing? Is that what they say?
Two things Bob don't like. He's going to get them in this
Yeah,
January 17th.
chops and
He's gonna get
forearms.
chops and shitty forearms.
Well, I don't mind shitty forearms. They probably won't hurt.
The question is to see.
I hate chops though.
So this is in January. We're at the end of November. Have you started taking your 48 Tylenol a day for this match?
No, not yet.
He's not going to need them.
A month out. You got to wait a month out.
A cooker's punch. He's not going to need them. He's not going to need them. I'm going to dot his eyes like Terry Funk would say. You want the hospital or the graveyard?
Now this is with Twisted Wrestling Alliance, right? TWA.
Yeah. Yes.
Do they record the shows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or we could be find on YouTube?
Oh yes. Yep. Yes.
I'm gonna have to watch this. And Robbie, as much as I like you, man, you're going against my one of my childhood favorites. I have to go for Bob. I have to roll for Bob.
That's all right. That's okay.
But I still
Well, at least that makes one.
updating
That
it.
makes one. My wife will be there, and she's not even going to cheer for me. She's 13 feet that way.
She'll be cheering for Robbie, but she won't be cheering.
That's true. Yeah. She said she wanted to come to the ring with us, though.
Now, is the real reason she coming? I'm sure is Robert in this match?
Yes. Yeah. Robbie's
Yes.
in it too.
Yeah, Robbie's. Yep. So I'm guessing that's why she's coming, so she can.
Yeah, that's why.
cheer Robert
Well, that
on.
and she's bringing me, but hey.
Yeah. When I found, I went and watched a few of Robert. For fans, you guys are talking about Bob Cook as his son. His name's Robert Cook. He's a great guy. I highly advise you go type his name in YouTube and watch a few of his matches. Really, really good performer in the ring. And you and Robert look so much alike. The one biggest difference, though, is he has that look of being that brawler. It would surprise me to see him in a really hardcore type of a match. He just has that look. He kind of has this crazy look about him with his beard and everything, versus you look more like that standard, what's the word I'm looking for? Just a standard fighter, kind of like a boxer, or you know what I'm saying. You don't look as hardcore as your son does.
But they had a match. Robbie and him had a match last month where they used, what was it, thumbtacks? I don't remember. They had kendo sticks. They had stapler guns, trash cans.
Yeah. Now, is Robert taller than you, Cook?
No,
he's not.
No,
he looks like he would be.
Why would you say that? I'm 6'1", 6'2" with my boots on. Well, maybe 6 foot now because I'm old.
He looks like he has, his torso looks long. I guess he looks like he'd be taller than you. But I was telling him that suit that he has with him and his wife.
Yeah, I was there.
Got married, that orange suit. I think it was orange.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, I love that suit. Somebody'd wear 100%. So, who are you teaming with, Robbie?
I'm teaming with
David, right?
With Cuban Assassin, and Richie Paradise.
Yeah. In the middle of that match, Bob, if you're in the ring with the Cuban Assassin, you should look at him and yell at the top of your lungs, "The Canadian Assassin," as I called him.
Well, there is a guy that was in Canada as the original Cuban Assassin. So,
really,
if Bob doesn't do it, I'll yell it from the ring apron.
Oh, and Cuba's gonna turn babyface.
Now, is there anything on the line in this match besides pride and the ability to say that you won?
Nope.
Nothing.
Well, revenge.
Yes, and that's again where it comes in that.
I mean, my kid talked about it. He pile drove him at the last show and hurt his neck. Come on.
It wasn't me though. I didn't pile drive him.
What? Richie Paradise did it?
Yeah, Richie Paradise did.
Oh, okay. I don't. I was the only one. I was operating the cameras. I forgot already.
Yeah.
Well,
so
you know what?
But I was supposed to be the one that jumped off the second rope to spike him, and Richie pile drived him before I could jump off the rope.
I would be careful about believing Robbie after we seen today, where he swore that I was wrong, that it was Monet that won the match. So, you know, I'd question, maybe he really was the one that power drive your kid.
It's on YouTube, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go watch that. Actually,
Well,
I edited it.
I did watch the podcast and I saw what Robbie said. I'll tell you what, I told everybody when they were coming in the ring, I said, you know what, boys, it's October. I'm swinging like Reggie, so look out. I warned everybody in the back before they came out.
How many people get that?
Too much fun swinging the kendo stick.
But how many people get the Reggie reference?
Well,
I do, but I don't even like baseball.
I know. Well,
yeah.
What can I say?
Well, I wish I was in
Reggie Johnson, right?
Yeah,
It's a joke.
I know. That's why I told you. Yeah,
Rocky Jackson.
I wish I was in Florida so I can go watch the match, but I'm gonna watch it on YouTube. Guys, again, please subscribe to the podcast. Tune in on Tuesday again so you can join us, make comments, be part of the conversation as we talk about the go home Raw before Survivor Series. Until then, you guys have a great Monday. See everyone Tuesday. Thank you, gentlemen.
see ya.